Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavat overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed the wonderful pastime of deliverance of Putana, and after this Shukadeva Goswami described in the end of this chapter, the 6th chapter, the wonderful falastuti of the discussion on hearing of Putana. Yayetad Putana moksham Krishnasyarvakam adbhutam Shrunya Shraddhaya Martyo Govinda Labhate Ratim. Anyone who hears this wonderful pastime of the deliverance of Putana with faith, Govinda Labhate Ratim. He attains unflinching attraction for the Supreme Lord Govinda. After hearing this, in the 7th chapter, which is entitled The Killing of Demon Trinavarta. So in the beginning of this chapter, again Parikshit Maharaj, he expresses his eagerness to hear Krishna Katha even more. Yena yena avatarena bhagavan haririshwaraha karoti karna ramyani manogyani chana prabho. So in the 7th chapter, actually, Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami, he describes the various Aishwarya aspect of Krishna's pastimes. So in the 6th chapter, Krishna described, Shukadeva Goswami described that how Krishna, the power of his lips is so that just by his lips he delivered Putana. In this 7th chapter, Shukadeva Goswami described the power of the feet of Krishna. Just by the touch of the feet, the cart demon Shakatashur will be destroyed. And then what is the power of the hands of Krishna? That Shukadeva Goswami will describe by the description of Trinavarta. How just by his hands, Krishna choked this powerful demon. And then he will describe the Aishwarya Shakti of the Lord by the description of Brahmanda Darshan Leela. So Parikshit Maharaj, he says that actually my mind is getting attracted to hear all the pastimes of Krishna, and all the pastimes of all the avatars of Krishna. But particularly now I am eager to hear about Krishna's childhood pastimes. So therefore he is requesting, O Shukadeva Goswami, yena avatarena bhagavan haririshwaraha karoti karna ramyani manogyani chana prabho. all the pastimes, all the avatars of Krishna, they are attractive. They are karna ramyani. They attract the ears. They are very pleasing to hear. In this world, people are attracted to so many different things. They want to hear about the, wonderful feats of the powerful heroes of the world, about the politicians, about the movie stars. But all these discussions, they don't attract the heart. They don't attract the ears continuously. They may look attractive for some time, but after some time they'll become stale. But Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Karoti Karna Ramyani. The pastimes of Krishna, they are always attractive. Manogyani, they are very pleasing to the mind. So it is also described in the first canto when Narad Muni, how he developed pure devotion in his previous life as a child. Tatranvaham Krishna Katha Pragayata Manograhena Shrinvan Manohara Tashraddhaya Me Nupadam Vishnvataha Priya Shravasyanga Mama Bhavadruchihi Tatranvaham Krishna Katha Pragayatam. Just by hearing Krishna Katha, what is the wonderful nature of this Krishna Katha? Shrinvan Manohara. It is Manohar. It is very, very attractive for the mind. So therefore, if we want to get attracted to Krishna, we have to hear about Krishna. That's why we have come here in this society. We have done so much of tapasya to come here and then, chanting 16 rounds and then associating with devotees, going to so many yatras. Why all this tapasya? To develop attraction for Krishna. And how we will develop attraction for Krishna? When we hear about Krishna constantly, when we hear about Krishna with eagerness. What is the effect of this Harikatha? Yashrinvato-paiti yaratirvitrishna sattvam cha shuddhyeta chirena pumsaha bhaktir harau cha purushe cha sakhyam tadevaharam vadmanyase chet. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, when somebody hears these narrations of Krishna, what happens? Apaiti, arati, vitrishna. Three things, they go away. Apaiti means any unattractiveness for Krishna goes away. Arati, if somebody has no attraction for Krishna, that unattraction goes away. Vitrishna, if somebody has no hunger for Krishna Katha, that hunger comes. What else happens? Sattvam cha shuddhyet achirena pumsaha. Mind becomes purified very quickly, very soon. And then what happens? Bhakti harau tat purushe cha sakhyam. And then one gradually develops devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. One develops friendship with his devotees. This is very important. When we come to Krishna consciousness, does not mean only I and Krishna. No. Friendship with devotees is very, very important. That is the quality of a Madhyamadhikari. We have discussed earlier also. Madhyamadhikari has 4 types of relationships with 4 people. Ishvare tad adhineshu balisheshu dushatsu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha yah karoti samadhyama. He loves Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna. He makes friendships with the devotees. Maitri shows mercy to the innocent and neglects the envious people. Bhakti harau tat purushe cha sakhyam. One develops friendship for the devotees of the Lord. Tadevaharam vadmanyase chet. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is requesting, please, if you think that I am fit, then kindly speak Krishna Katha. Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually this is the garland which you please put on my neck. This is the garland which we have to wear. Tadeva haram vadmanyase. This is the har we have to wear. The garland of Krishna Katha. Srimad Sukatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastho Yavadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam. When we hear Krishna Katha, all the contaminations of the heart goes away. So Shukdev Goswami may think, okay, what is the form of the Lord which is there in your mind? कौन से रूप में आप सुनना चाहते हैं? अथान्यदपि कृष्णस्य तोका चरितम अद्भुतम मानुषम रूपमासाद्य ततजाति अनुरुन्धतः. So this is a very, very famous verse. He says, please describe all the wonderful pastimes of Krishna. Toka charitam adbhutam. When Krishna appears as a human child, he imitates all the activities of the human child. It is so very attractive. Tat jati anurundhataha. Because Krishna appears in so many forms, but when he appears as Krishna himself, as a human, this is very, very attractive because we can relate with Krishna. Because we as humans, we can relate with the human-like pastimes of Krishna. So then, Shukdev Goswami, he continues the discussion. He says, once Mother Yashoda, she was taking care of Krishna, and Krishna, he was trying to slant his body and he was trying to turn. And this is celebrated as Utthana ceremony. So Mother Yashoda, when she saw that my child is turning, that is a ceremony. It is a Utthana ceremony. Actually, this ceremony is performed after 3 months. When the child is about to leave the this house for the first time, then he is properly bathed. Because till 3 months, the child is not allowed to go out. So the child is properly bathed and put nice clothes. So this pastime happened after 3 months. So, on this occasion, so just like Nandotsav is the festival which is organized by Nanda Maharaj, this Utthana ceremony is the festival which is performed by Yashoda and all the gopis. So this is a festival of the ladies, So Yashoda Mai, she called all the Brahmanas and they were chanting Vedic mantras, and there were various musicians who had come and they were singing beautiful music, and instruments were being played. And all this ceremony was under the supervision of Mother Yashoda. So Prabhupada writes that in Vedic culture, the children are not burden. In contrast to the modern civilization, that people, they are killing children in the womb because they cannot take care of the children. In Vedic civilization, everything is celebrated. There is no reason, okay, we have to find a separate reason to celebrate. There are so many inbuilt festivals in the Vedic culture. And therefore, nobody would become sad and morose, my life is getting so very boring. So then, the bathing ceremony was performed, Krishna was bathed properly, and then Yashoda, she was involved in receiving the guests, and after taking care of the guests, giving them charity to the Brahmanas, she laid down with the child, and she was taking care so that the child is asleep. So actually, she laid down under the very big cart. There was a cart which was under the cart. And Yashoda Mai, she took Krishna on her lap, and she was just, taking care of the child. And when Krishna, he was fast asleep, Yashoda, she got up very gently so as not to disturb the child. And then Mother Yashoda, she again became busy receiving the guests and worshipping them and offering them gifts. And there was such a wonderful festival going on, all the instruments and singing, everything was going on. But in between all this, Krishna woke up. And he was crying for milk. He was hungry. And he wanted to catch the attention of Mother Yashoda, but Mother Yashoda, she was busy. So Krishna is thinking, okay, you cannot hear me cry. I will, do some things that will create such a sound that your attention will come to me. Thinking like this, Krishna started kicking off his feet. So Prabhupada writes that actually Krishna was placed under a cart, household hand cart. It was a very huge cart. And actually there was a demon called Shakatasur. It was actually a ghostly being, and this ghost had entered this cart. Shakata means cart. So this demon had entered the cart with the intention of killing Krishna. Therefore, Krishna also, he took the opportunity to kill this demon on the pretext of attracting the attention of Mother Yashoda. So, as he started kicking off his legs, although the legs of Krishna, very little, very soft leaves, just like leaves, lotus petals, as soon as the legs struck the cart, immediately the cart turned upside down. It turned around upside down and collapsed. And the wheels got separated from the axle, and then the hubs and the spokes fell apart, and the pole, it was a pole of the handcart which was there, it broke. There were many big and small utensils, they were kept on this cart. They all got scattered here and there. Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually the cart was struck by the feet of Krishna, soft feet. And with very little force, Krishna hit that cart. Krishna did not have to exert more, just touched the cart, and the feet of the Lord, feet of Krishna, did not become hard like Narsimhadev body, and Krishna did not have to even extend the leg like Vamanadev. He just lifted the leg gently, slightly, and then touched the wheel, touched the axle. Jiva Goswami writes that how is it possible? Cart was big and the axle must be very high. So how Krishna could touch that axle? So he says that actually, because the demon entered that cart, the wheel had sunk in the ground, and therefore the cart had come down. Or it may be possible that Krishna, by his power, he could have pulled that cart down. And this cart, Jiva Goswami describes, this cart was very high. It was 6 hands height, just like a tal tree, very huge, 6 hastas, he says. When Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj heard this, very tumultuous sound, they were shocked and they wondered how this cart collapsed. They were looking here and there to find the cause, but they were not able to find the cause. All the men, Brajvasis, Gopas, Gopis, they were wondering, how did this happen? Is this the work of some demon or some evil planet? As they were thinking like this, the small children, they saw what happened. And they informed that actually, nothing happened, but just Krishna, he lifted his leg and touched this cart and entire cart collapsed. None of the Brajvasis, they believed these childish words. How is this possible? So Prabhupada writes that Shakatashur was a ghost and he had taken shelter of this handcart with the intention to kill Krishna. Actually, nobody realized what happened. Nobody could see this demon. Nobody could see the demon getting killed. But Krishna did it very, invisibly, all this. So the Gopas and Gopis, they didn't believe the statements of these children, and then Mother Yashoda picked up the child, and then she thanked Supreme Lord for taking care of the child, protecting the child, allowed him to suck her breast. Again she called for the Brahmanas, and they all chanted mantras. Shukdev Goswami writes, what were the qualities of Brahmanas who were invited. Not any Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana actually? Shukdev Goswami describes. Who is a Brahmana who should be called? Those Brahmanas should be without envy, without any untruthfulness. They should not be having any pride, grudges. They should not disturb others. They should not get disturbed by the opulence of others. Such Brahmanas, when they chant mantras, their mantras have effect. So considering this, Nanda Maharaj, he invited such Brahmanas, and these Brahmanas, they came, they performed sacrifice, they performed chanting, they performed all the rituals to protect the child. Prabhupada writes that actually in human society there must be an ideal class of Brahmana. Therefore, Prabhupada would say many times, ISKCON, in our society, we are trying to create Brahmanas. Brahmanas are not just by birth, not just by wearing a 25 paisa thread. Brahmana means you should have the qualities of Brahmana. Shamo, Dama, Tapa, Shaucham, Shantir, Arjavam, Evacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Svabhavajam, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So Nanda Maharaj called such Brahmanas, they performed all the rituals and the sacrifices, and then Nanda Maharaj gave cows in charity to these Brahmanas. And thereafter, the Brahmanas gave all the blessings and they returned. Then, Shukdev Goswami described one more thing. Then after third month, he immediately went up to the pastime which happened after 1 year. So he says, a year after, one day, Yashoda Mai, she was, having Krishna on her lap and she was taking care of Krishna. But suddenly, Krishna became so heavy that she could not keep Krishna in her lap. Ekada rohamaduram lalayante sutam sati garimanam shishorvodam nasehe girikutavat nasehe girikutavat. Krishna became as heavy as mountain. There are many mystics in these. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan, Anima, Laghima. One can become greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest. And Krishna is Yogeshwara. He is the supreme controller of all the mystic siddhis. So he became heavier than a mountain. Why Krishna did it? Krishna, being Supreme Lord, he knew that, one demon called Trinavarth is coming. So, Krishna, he did not want Yashoda to be disturbed, to be put in such predicament. He knew that now this Trinavarth will come and he will try to take me, to kill me. So he wanted to avoid pain to Yashoda. So therefore he made himself very heavy. One more reason, Acharyas say that, Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually, small children, they like to, go in the sky when the parents, when the mother, they throw the child in the sky and then high up, and then child, when he comes down, the parent catches the child becomes so very happy. So Krishna is thinking, oh, Yashoda can lift me only a little bit, but I want to play in the sky. So let me plan something. So therefore Krishna called for this demon. He arranged for the demon to come at a proper time. Bhumau nidhaya tam gopi vismita bhara pidita mahapurushamadadhyau jagatamasa karmasu. So now, Bhumau nidhaya tam gopi. So Yashoda, she could not keep the child on her lap. Vismita, she was astonished. Bhara pidita. She was troubled by the heavy weight. How come my child has become so heavy immediately? She thought maybe this is the work of some ghostly, some entity or some demoniacs, or some evil spirits. So she What she did? Mahapurushamadadyo Jagatamasa Karmasu. She took shelter of Supreme Lord Vishnu, Supreme Lord Narayan. So this is how a devotee is always conscious. Whenever problem comes, immediately one should remember the Supreme Lord to give us right intelligence to do the needful. So therefore, Mother Yashoda, she took shelter of Supreme Lord Narayan. दैत्यो नाम्ना तृणावर्ता कंसभृत्य प्रणोदितः चक्रवातस्वरूपेण जहारासीनमर्भकम्. So there was a demoniac servant of Kamsa, Kamsabhritya. He was the servant of Kamsa. His name was Trinavarta. Chakravata Swarupena, he came in the form of a whirlwind. Jaharasina Marbhakam. Now, after Yashoda kept Krishna down, immediately he became as light as a feather, so that Trinavarta could, take him very easily. Jaharasina Marbhakam. And then Mother Yashoda, she went somewhere inside to take care of the other duties. And Trinavarta came and took the child high up in the air. Because of the whirlwind which was created by Trinavarta, whole Gokul was filled with dust. Everyone was, all the Brajvasis, they could not see anything. Their eyes were covered with dust. Muhurtam abhavad goshtam rajasa tamasavritam sutam yashoda napashyat tasminyastavati yatah. Then, for a moment, muhurtam abhavad goshtam. The whole pasturing ground was covered with dust. There was intense darkness which was there. Rajasa tamasa avritam. Because of the dust which was rising, which was risen by the Trinavarta, the entire Braja was completely covered with dust and dark. Sutam Yashoda na pashyat. Yashoda could not see her child Krishna. Where she had placed, she didn't see, oh, Krishna has gone somewhere. And because the bits of sand had gone in the eyes of Brajvasis, they could not see themselves, they could not see anybody else. So they were completely illusioned and disturbed. Yashoda, when she saw that Krishna is not there, she became immediately so very anxious. She fell down unconscious. She started lamenting like a cow who has lost her calf. All the gopis, they also saw that, oh, Krishna is not there. They also were lamenting and they were also taking care of Mother Yashoda. And at the same time, they also were crying. They also joined Mother Yashoda in crying. So on the other hand, now what is happening with Krishna here? Trinavarta, he took Krishna high up in the air. And when Krishna was sufficiently up in the air and he was happy, he was satisfied, chalo dekh liya sab upar se kaisa dikhta hai, it looks good. So then Krishna, he thought, now enough of this, play. He started becoming heavy. So therefore Trinavarta, he could not take Krishna any more up. Krishna became so very heavy that Trinavarta was not even able to bear the weight of Krishna. And because Krishna, just like small children, when they go up in the air or when they are fearful, they catch hold of something. So Krishna was behaving like a child also. So he caught hold of the neck of Trinavarta very tightly. So Trinavarta, he was not even able to throw off Krishna. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that there were two reasons why Krishna went up in the sky. One is he wanted to see how it looks to be in the sky. Secondly, there were some ladies of Swarga, the women of Swarga, they wanted to see Krishna. So therefore Krishna went high up so that the ladies could see him. And then after this, Krishna became ready to kill Trinavarta. he caught hold of neck of Trinavarta, and it was so strong that actually Trinavarta choked. He could not even breathe. He could not even make a sound. He started trembling. And along with the little boy, he was not even able to move his hands and legs because he was completely paralyzed by the stopping of this air in the body. So along with the child, he fell down on the ground of Braja. So when the gopis, they reached that place where this Trinavarth fell, and they saw Krishna is happily playing. This Trinavarta, he looked as if, when Lord Shiva, he shot arrows on Tripurasur and Tripurasur fell down. Trinavarta fell like that. All his limbs became dislocated. Immediately, gopis, they picked up Krishna and gave him to Mother Yashoda. And therefore, because the child, although child was taken in the sky, taken up in the sky, but still he was unhurt and he was free from danger. So therefore, all the gopis and Nanda, Yashoda, they were so very happy. And actually, Krishna, he manifested his power in such a way that he did not compromise his sweetness. Brajvasis, they didn't see Krishna's power. They were still seeing Krishna as a small child. And therefore, Nand Maharaj and all the Brajvasis, all the Gopas, they started discussing what happened, how to understand this situation. So, Nand Maharaj says, Aho batatyadbhutamesha rakshasa balo nivrittim gamito abhyagat punaha हिंस्रस्वपापेन विहिंसिता खला साधो samatve bhayad vimuchyate. Oh, just see, Adbhut. It is most astonishing that this innocent child was taken away by this fierce Rakshasa to be eaten up. But he has returned now without being harmed. You know how this happened? They were not thinking, oh, Krishna killed him. Chand Maharaj was thinking, swapapena. Now, because demon was envious, cruel, so very sinful, by his own sinful acts he was killed. Sadhu samatvena bhayad vimuchyate. Because this is the law of nature. It is always there, known to everybody that Supreme Lord always protects his innocent devotees. Prabhupada writes a very beautiful line there in the purport. He says, Krishna conscious life means innocent devotional life. We don't have to do something extraordinary. We don't have to be very, famous and very powerful and very, aristocratic. Simple, innocent, devotional life. That is all what is required to please Krishna. If we are simply trying to follow the instructions of spiritual master, trying to follow the rules and regulations, trying our best to chant attentively, read Bhagavatam, serving devotees to the best of our capacity, without duplicity, if we do this innocent devotional service, just by seeing some devotees, we know this devotee is such a simple, innocent devotee. Just if I could become like him, life is successful, So therefore, we should try our best to be innocent in our practice of Krishna consciousness. Innocent devotional service is what is pleasing to Krishna. And that is what we have to cultivate. So Prabhupada writes, in devotional service, in devotional life, one should have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. Innocent faith. Not analyzing everything, innocent faith in Krishna. When we hear such pastimes, These pastimes should give us faith. So Nand Maharaj and all the other cowherd boys, cowherd men, they said that, oh, because we have performed such austerities and pious activities, so therefore Supreme Lord has awarded this. He has protected the child. This child, he has returned from death. And therefore Nand Maharaj became more and more astonished, and actually he remembered the words of Vasudev. That how Vasudev said that, calamities will come. And he was thinking, oh, Vasudev, he is a very wonderful personality. Yashoda, she again took Krishna on her lap and fed milk out of affection. And Mother Yashoda, she was touching the various body parts of Krishna, making sure that he is all right. And he was looking at the beautiful face of Krishna. And as Krishna was drinking the milk, he yawned. After actually Krishna completed drinking milk, he yawned. And Mother Yashoda, she saw the entire universe in the mouth of Krishna. So Krishna showed the universe twice. So Shukdev Goswami describes in this chapter also, in the next chapter also. So Krishna, when he opened his mouth, he yawned. Mother Yashoda, she saw the entire universe, entire planetary system, all the luminaries, all the various elements of creation, all the living entities, everything she saw in the mouth of Krishna. She was astonished. She was completely bewildered. She began to tremble. She was astonished. And she closed her eyes. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually she was trembling out of fear and she prayed to the Lord, oh Lord, please protect my child from this disturbance. And this is the end of the 7th chapter. Then in the 8th chapter, which is entitled as Lord Krishna shows universal form within his mouth. So in this chapter, various beautiful childhood pastimes of Krishna are described. Now, Chakravarti Thakur writes that after describing the sweet pastimes of Krishna, and his wonderful, powerful pastimes, majestic pastimes, greatness of Krishna by killing Trinavarth, by killing Putana. Now, Shukdev Goswami, he he actually went 1 year ahead in hurry. After Putana pastime, then Shakatasur pastime at 3 months, then Trinavarth pastime at 1 year. Actually, Shukdev Goswami is very eager to go to more sweet pastimes of Krishna as a child. But then he understood that, okay, there are some pastimes which are remaining, so now he goes back. So now he describes the name-giving ceremony of Krishna, which happens after 100 days. So it is described that, Shukdev Goswami says that Parikshit Maharaj, as he says, O Parikshit, Vasudev, he sent Garg Muni. Vasudev was actually calculating, he was thinking, okay, now 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months passed by, 90 days have gone. So actually after 100 days, name giving ceremony should be done. So Vasudev, he sends Garg Muni. Garg Muni was very famous and very exalted personality. So when Garg Muni came, entered the house of Nanda Maharaj, very gratefully Nanda Maharaj welcomed Gargacharya, made him sit and gave him a nice welcome, washed his feet, and then he asked, "Oh great sage, how can I serve you? How can I serve you properly? Please order me." And then he glorifies the saintly personalities. He says, Mahad vichalanam nrinam grihinam dina chetasam nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate nanyatha kvachit. Mahad vichalanam nrinam. O my Lord, great devotees like you, they travel for one place to another. Grihinam Dinachetasam. Not for themselves. They travel just to show mercy to the householders. Grihinam Dinachetasam. Nishreyasaya Bhagavan. Not for their own benefits, but for the benefit of the poor householders. Kalpate na anyatha kvachit. Otherwise, they have no reason to travel. In the first canto also, when Vidura he returns, Yudhishthir, he tells, Bhavadvida Bhagavata Tirthabhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantasthena Gadabhrita. He is glorifying Vidura. He says, Bhavadvidha, devotees like you are places of pilgrimage personified. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. You make the holy places into holy place. Actually, Nanda Maharaj could understand, Prabhupada writes, Nanda Maharaj could understand that Garg Muni, he had come for the purpose of purifying his home, his place. So therefore he is humbly requesting, please tell me what is my duty. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually it is so very wonderful that great saints, they leave their ashram and going elsewhere. It is the greatest fortune for living entities, for householders, because it is so very beneficial for the grihasthas that great saintly personalities, they come. Otherwise, they don't have anything to do with traveling. They travel only for the welfare of people in general. And Nanda Maharaj says that, Gargacharya, you have compiled astrological science scriptures. You are so very expert in finding all the past and the unseen present and the future. So you are expert in this science. So please do purificatory and reformatory acts for my sons. Tvam hi brahma vidam sreshta samskaran kartumarhasi Balayor Nrinam Janmana Brahmano Guru. He says, O great sage, Tvam hi Brahma Vida. You are the knower of Brahman. You are the best of the Brahmanas. Sanskaran Kartum Arhasi. I request you that you please do purificatory ceremonies, reformatory activities for my two sons, Balayor, Anayor. For my two sons, Krishna and Balram, they were not named so far. Please do purificatory ceremonies for them. Gargacharya may ask, but I am not your guru. Why should I do all these ceremonies? These ceremonies should be done by gurus. Nanda Maharaj says, by Brahmana, Brahmana, just by their birth, they become the guru of all the human beings. So Brahmano Guru. So therefore you are qualified to please, give names to my children. And Prabhupada in the purport, he describes about Varnashram system and how in Kali Yuga, it is so very important to have a Brahmana class of people. And he says actually Brahmana does not mean just by, some birth. Brahmana means Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. And then he says that actually Vaishnava is higher than Brahmana also. And then when Gargacharya, he heard this request. Actually, he had come for that purpose only. That's why Vasudeva had sent him. But he's so very careful. He's not in hurry. Okay, I have come for this service, I'll do this service. He is seeing the surroundings. He is examining what is the surrounding, what are the circumstances. So he says, Yadunam hamacharya khatasya bhuvi sarvada sutam maya samskritam te manyate devaki sutam. He says, my dear Nanda Maharaj, I am well known as the guru of the Yadavas. This is known everywhere. Khyatascha bhuvi sarvada. Everywhere it is known that I am the guru of the Yadavas. If I perform the reformatory ceremonies for your sons, Sutam Maya Samskritam Te, you know what people will think and what Kamsa will think? Kamsa will consider that these are the sons of Devaki. So actually Gargacharya, he had come with this purpose only, but he is very careful. So then Gargmuni, he advises that samskar should be done properly, that is there. But we should not do the samskar, openly, in an open ceremony, because there is a danger. He says, Kamsa, he is a very great diplomat and he is a very sinful person. He says, after Yogamaya told him that, the child who will kill him is already born somewhere, he has become very alert. And he also heard that the 8th pregnancy of Devaki is a female child. How is this possible? Therefore, he is suspicious. And he knows that Vasudeva and Nanda, they are best friends. And if I perform the purificatory ceremony, that Kamsa will doubt for sure. He will consider all these aspects and he will conclude that Krishna is the son of Devaki. And then it will bring a complete catastrophe. Nanda Maharaj is thinking, by good fortune you have come to our house. It is so very rare to have such people, such great souls like you. So you know what we'll do? Alakshito asmin rahisi mamakai rapi gobraje kurudvijati samskaram swasti vachana purvakam. Alakshito, we'll do it secretly. We'll do it in cow shed. Gobraje. In the daytime even cows are not there. Nobody will come to know. We will not allow even our servants to come and take care of the cow, this cow shed. Only myself, Devaki, Rohini, Yashoda will be there. Nobody will be there. None of my relatives will be there. So now you should do the minimal things which are required. And then later, another day we will do all the celebration with music and food distribution, and rest all we'll do later. Now you just do the minimum things. Perform the ceremony very secretly. So Gargamuni agreed, and then he performed the name giving ceremony. First he gives the name to Balram. Ayam hi rohini putro ramayan surido ganai akhyāsyate rama iti baladikhyat balam vidu yadunama prithak bhavat sankarshanam mushantyapi. He says, this son of Rohini, Ayam hi rohini putro ramayan surido gana. He will bring pleasure to all the family members. So therefore he'll be called as Ram. And because Baladikya, he will be very, very powerful. Therefore he will be known by the name Bala. And because he will bring the two families of Vasudeva and Nanda, he will bring the two families together. Therefore he will be called by the name Sankarshan. And actually Chakravarti Thakur writes that, as Gargmuni is saying, he is pointing towards the child. He's pointing, this son of Rohini. And that's how Acharyas, they are there. They know, they can visualize what all is happening. Actually, this is just a pastime. Balram is always eternally known by the name Balram. But in this pastime, when he appeared as a child of Rohini, he gets the name. Just like in the pastime of Kaliya, Krishna, he gets this Kaustuba gem. Kaustuba gem is always with Krishna. But in this pastime, the Nagapatnis, they give this Kaustuba gem to Krishna. Then after this, Gargmuni, he gives the name to Krishna. Asanvarna strayo hyasya grinato anuyugam tanuhu shuklo raktasatha pita idanim krishnatam gatah. He says, this son of Yashoda, he appears in various yugas in different colors. Sometimes he comes in a red, sometimes white, sometimes yellow, and now he has appeared in the black color. Idanim Krishnatam Gataha. So Prabhupada writes that is Pita. Pita means the yellow color. That indicates Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In various yugas, Rakta, Shuklo Rakta Tatha Pita. White color in Satya Yuga, red color in Treta Yuga, black color in Dwapar Yuga, and yellow or golden color in Kali Yuga. So Krishna, he's not bound to appear in this world. Grinataha. Grinataha means he has his own choice. By his own choice he appears. So therefore Prabhupada writes in detail about the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Mahaprabhu is the avatar for his age, this age of Kali Yuga. Even Mahabharata describes, Mahabharata also describes the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krishna Mashanta Nishtha Shanti Parayanaha. So this verse comes in Mahabharata. Suvarna Varna Hemango. The Lord will appear with golden complexion. Chandanangadi. He'll be covered with sandalwood pulp. Sannyasa Kriti. He'll take sannyas. Nishtha Shanti Parayana. So this is the prediction of the Lord. And then Gargacharya continues. Bahuni santi namani rupani cha sutasyate gunakarmanu rupani tanyaham vedano janah. This child of yours, he has many names, he has many forms. And gunakarmanu rupani, according to the various transcendental activities and the qualities, will be known by different names. So there are some primary names of Krishna, there are some secondary names of Krishna. So according to the pastimes, according to the activities, Krishna gets some names. Advaitam Achyutamanadim Ananta Rupam. And then, very beautiful verse Gargacharya speaks. Esha Vaishreya Adhasyat Gopagokula Nandana Anena Sarva Durgani Yuya Manjastarishyata. This child will always act auspiciously for you. Esha Vaishreya Adhasyad. Shreya Adhasyad. This child will bring auspiciousness for Gopa Gokula Nandana, for all the cowherdmen. And by the mercy of this child, by his grace only, Yuya Manjastarishyatha, you will cross all the miseries and calamities and difficulties. So that's how, by taking shelter of the process of Krishna consciousness, for sure we will be able to cross this misery of material world. And then Gargacharya continues that this child has appeared in the past. Whenever Indra was in danger, he was defeated. This child appeared and he gave Indra back his position. So this child always appears to protect people and to curb all the thieves. And then he says, Yaetasmin mahabhaga priti kurvanti manavaha naryo abhibhavantyeshan vishnu pakshani vasuraha. Yaetasmin mahabhaga. This is a very beautiful verse. Any person or any group who is attached to Krishna, priti kurvanti manava. Any person who is attached to Krishna, having affectionate feeling towards Krishna, na arayo abhibhavanti. He cannot be defeated by demons. Prabhupada writes in the bracket. It is not there in the verse, but still Prabhupada writes. External demons and also internal demons, internal enemies like our senses. Krishna is called Rishikesha. He is the controller of the senses. So if we invest our mind in chanting the names of the Lord, taking shelter of the Lord, trying to, use our senses in serving the Lord, then the enemies of our senses will be defeated. Vishnu Paksha Nivasuraha. Just like the demons cannot harm the demigods because Vishnu is their protector. Anybody who takes shelter of Krishna cannot be harmed by the senses because Krishna controls the senses. And in this way, Gargacharya says in conclusion that this child is exactly like Narayan. So therefore, please raise him very carefully. So after this, Gargacharya returned and Nanda Maharaj was very happy. And then after this, Shukdeva Goswami continues the pastimes. He says, after a short time, very quickly, Krishna and Balram, they began to crawl. They got some strength in their hands and the knees and they started crawling. Beautiful, wonderful description of the childhood pastimes of Krishna are described now. Tau angri yugma manukrishya sari sripantyo ghosha pragosha ruchira brajakaradameshu तन्नादरिष्ट मनसा वनुसृत्य लोकम मुग्धम प्रभीतवतुपेयतुमन्ति मात्रोः तौ अंघ्रि युग्मम अनुकृष्य. So now what is happening? As Krishna is crawling, with his two hands he is moving ahead and he is dragging the two knees. In the ankles, Mother Yashoda had put ankle bells. And when Krishna is moving, crawling, sliding his legs, Ghosha, Praghosha, Ruchira, the ankle bells, they are creating a very wonderful tinkling sound. And it is very, very pleasing to hear. So Krishna is very attracted by that tinkling sound. So Krishna is just moving around in the Vrajkardameshu, in the cow, in the mud of Vrindavan, which is mixed with cow dung and cow urine. So it is very smooth, very soft. So then what happens? Krishna, as he's moving around, he sees few ladies going ahead. And he gets attracted by their ankle bells. He starts following them, thinking that, oh, they are Mother Yashoda or Rohini. So as he goes behind them, catches hold of their sari, they turn around and they exclaim, oh, just see, Krishna and Balram is crawling. Oh, Krishna becomes, afraid. Mugdha prabhitavat upeyatu manti matro. Oh, he realizes, oh, this is not Mother Yashoda. He returns back. And he finds and goes to Mother Yashoda. This is a wonderful pastime of Krishna. And therefore Krishna, as he's moving around, he's dressed with mud, cow dung, cow urine, looking very beautiful. So Mother Yashoda, she picks up the child, she looks at the beautiful face of the child and then she embraces him with great affection. Mother Rohini also. And they take care of the child and feed him with the breast milk. As now one of the favorite pastimes of mothers, as the child is drinking the milk, Mother Yashoda, she is counting the teeth. Some teeth are visible, small teeth are visible in the mouth of Krishna. So when Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they see the small teeth coming out in mouth of Krishna and Balram, they become so very ecstatic. And then after, Shukdeva Goswami goes a little fast forward. And now Krishna has become a little older. And he is now moving all over in Braja. And now what is happening? Yarhi angana darshaniya kumara lila antar brajeta dabala pragrihita puchai vatsairitas subhav anukrishyamano prekshantya ujhita griha jarisurha santyah. Another beautiful pastime. This pastime was seen only by the Braja ladies. Because, Krishna was not going far, but he was in the Angan and little bit moving around in Braja. Darshaniya Kumara Leela. These pastimes were worth seeing. So what Krishna would do, Krishna would, as he was crawling, sometimes he would catch hold of the tail of the calf. And calf, when realizes it realizes that, oh, somebody has caught my tail, calf becomes fearful, starts running. And Krishna, when he sees, oh, this calf is running, he becomes fearful. He catches hold of the tail even stronger. And now what is happening? The calf is dragging Krishna through the mud of Vrindavan, which is mixed with cow dung and cow urine. Vatsaya ritas tatas ubhao. Calf is running here and there. Anukrishya, dragging Krishna. And when the gopis and Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they see this beautiful pastime, they give up whatever they are doing. They have a very hearty laugh. That is a wonderful pastime. Sometimes Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they were unable to protect the child from the disturbances, calamities. Krishna would keep doing all the mischief. So they were always in anxiety. And then Shukadeva Goswami describes the naughty pranks of Krishna and Balram. So actually, Shukadeva Goswami, out of his eagerness, he quickly, after describing the first part of crawling, he is now coming to the end part, because he is so very eager to describe the other pastimes. So now he says, within a short time, Krishna and Balram grew up, started walking. There is no need to crawl. He began to play with his cowherd friends. And now Krishna starts doing all his mischievous activities. Krishnasya gopyo ruchiram vikshya kaumara chapalam shanvatya kila tanmatur iti hochu samagata. And as Krishna and Balram is doing all the mischief, the gopis, they observe all this very beautiful, attractive pastimes of Krishna. They are thinking, oh, Mother Yashoda is not so fortunate. She is not getting chance to see all these pastimes of stealing butter and all, doing all these mischievous activities. So let us go and give Mother Yashoda the pleasure of hearing those pastimes. So the gopis, on the pretext of scolding Krishna and scolding Mother Yashoda, just see what your son is doing. समझाओ इसको कुछ, बिगड़ गया है तुम्हारा बेटा. Actually, what they are doing, they are giving Mother Yashoda a chance to hear the wonderful pastimes of Krishna. That is the joy of Krishna Katha. Macchatta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So Krishna says that my devotees, they relish discussing about my pastimes. So now the gopis, they go to Nanda Bhavan and start complaining Mother Yashoda. Oh, our dear friend Yashoda, your son sometimes comes to our houses and he releases the calves before milking, because the calf, has to be there, and first milk is given to the calf and then cow starts giving milk. But Krishna, he comes before he releases the calves, and calves are running here and there, and people, they are absorbed in catching these calves. And Krishna takes advantage of this, enters the room, and he steals the butter. And when we chastise him, he smiles. And you know what happens when he smiles? By his intoxicating smile, we become so very stunned. We just sit there and keep watching this child smiling and doing all the mischievous things. We are not able to do anything. And you know what he does? He does not even run away after stealing. He just sits there eating butter there only. And we just stand there bewildered. And then, when we plan some ways to protect the butter, he devises so many plans to steal the butter, curd, and milk. In case, what happens? Mother Yashoda may think, then why you don't let him eat. जितना खाना है खाने दो, पेट भर जाएगा तो नहीं चुराएगा. Yashoda and Gopi say, "Arey Baba, it is not a question of hunger. He likes stealing. He has a taste for stealing. If we give him, he does not take, but he likes stealing, you know." And then, using his intelligence, he uses different ways to steal butter. And what happens after stealing butter? He feeds to the monkeys. And then after feeding monkeys so much, monkeys are also not eating. Then Krishna says, "Oh, this butter is so useless, monkeys are also not eating. Then why should I eat?" And then he throws that butter and he breaks the pots. And if there is no opportunity to steal butter, what does he do? He says, he starts chastising us. He scolds us. He says, "Next morning I'll bring a burning coal in my hand. I will burn your entire house if you don't keep the butter." That's how he chastises. And what he does after this? He pinches small children who are sleeping and make them cry. And we have tried everything. Many times we keep the pot very high up in the ceiling. He knows how to steal from those pots also. He reaches them by climbing through stairs or planks or mortar and climbing on the back of the friends. And Yashoda may think, but it is so very difficult to break the pot, make a hole in the pot. The gopis say, "Arey Baba, your Krishna is very expert. He knows how to do it. He makes a hole." Yashoda may ask, "How does he know which part has what?" Gopis say, "He knows. He is very expert. Just by seeing the quality of the pot, he understands इसमें क्या रखा है और इसमें क्या रखा है." He knows. And you know what happens in the dark? Sometime he enters. And what to speak of his ornaments? His ornaments illuminate the whole room. But more than ornaments, his limbs are very effulgent, and by his limbs, the light which come out of his limbs is so very attractive, so very powerful. It illuminates the entire room. It is astonishing. I don't know why he steals butter. He is wearing such costly ornaments and he's stealing butter and milk. And then they start laughing. Mother Yashoda, she tells, "If this is true, then you should hide and catch him. Bring him here. Why don't you be more careful? Pakad ke la usko." The gopis, they say, when he comes, when everybody is busy in the household affairs, nobody is attentive to, look for Krishna. He comes that time. He has a very bewitching power of his attractive smile. When he smiles, people become stunned. We are not able to do anything by his sweet smile, sweet words, bodily movements, beauty. He completely captivates everyone. And you know what he does? He sends his friends. You go and find out किस घर में कितना butter रखा है. He sends his friends. And if he's caught, what he does? If the master of the house, he says, "You are a thief." Krishna says, "No, I am not a thief. You are a thief." Sometimes he would become angry. And in anger, he would pass stool and urine in a clean place. And as gopis are making all these complaints, Krishna is sitting besides Mother Yashoda. And they tell, "Just see now, कितना भोला वाला है, ऐसा बैठा है जैसे कुछ किया ही नहीं है, He's sitting as if he has not done anything wrong. Just see." And Krishna, he was sitting as if he was becoming fearful. And Mother Yashoda, when she would hear all this, she would smile. She would have a big laugh. And she would be so happy. Then after describing all these pastimes, Shukadeva Goswami describes one more pastime of Mrida Bhakshan Leela. He says, one day, Krishna, as he was playing with his friends, with cowherd boys, with Balram came and told Mother Yashoda, "Oh, Mother Yashoda, your Kana has eaten dirt. So Mother Yashoda, she comes, she starts chastising Krishna. She says, she is actually fearful that, oh, my child has eaten dirt, his health should not go wrong. She tells, oh Krishna, why are you so restless? Why have you eaten dirt? There are so many things to eat in the house. Did you not get sweets in the house to eat? Why have you eaten dirt? Krishna may say, Arey Baba, I have not eaten dirt. Mother Yashoda says, Arey, your friends are telling. They may tell lie. Arey Yashoda, your brother Balram, he is always on your side. He is telling that you have eaten dirt. Why have you done it? Krishna says, Naham bhakshitvan amba sarve mithya visamshinah yadi satya girastarhi samaksham pashyame mukham. He says, Arey, I have not eaten dirt. Supreme personality, supreme absolute truth is speaking lie. You know, that is wonderful nature. You know, he's speaking lie. नाहम भक्षितवान, अरे मैंने नहीं खाया है. सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं. सर्वे मिथ्या विसंशिना. If you want to examine, just see look in my mouth. पश्य, खुद देख लो, पता चल जाएगा. You know. So it is described. Chakravarti Thakur writes, and Prabhupada also elaborates that children many times they lie when they are, you know, and it is natural. In fear, children they lie, but this lying increases the vatsalya. And when Supreme Lord does this, this increases the quality of vatsalya so much. So Mother Yashoda, she challenges Krishna. Yadi evam tarhi vyadehi tyukta sa bhagavan hari vyadatta vyarita ishwarya krida manujamalakai. So Mother Yashoda challenged Krishna. Okay, if you have not eaten dirt, just open your mouth. I will look into your mouth. I will see directly. Then Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is happening behind? Krishna has many powers. One is Satya Sankalpa Shakti. So before that, Chakravarti Thakur writes that what was the need for Krishna to become fearful? He is the Supreme Lord. He could have understood without fear. Arey, I am God. Whatever you want, you do. No, Krida Manuj Balakai. Krishna, he takes the form of the innocent human form to perform all these sweet pastimes. So, Chakravarti Thakur says that actually Krishna now he has lied, and there are various powers of Krishna. There is a power called Satya Sankalpa Shakti, and there is a power called Aishwarya, Avyahat Aishwarya Shakti. Avyahat Aishwarya means Krishna cannot be impeded. So when Krishna spoke that I have not eaten dirt, ye Shakti, got a chance to serve. Because all these Shaktis are always near Krishna, ready to serve. कुछ chance ही नहीं मिल रहा है serving. सेवा का chance ही नहीं है. Now, this Shakti got a chance to serve. And that Shakti became active. She became active. Why this Shakti became active? For two reasons. First, she wanted to increase the prema of Mother Yashoda. Because Yashoda's prema would be nourished more by, display of this Aishwarya. And secondly, that Shakti wanted to make the words of Krishna true. नहीं खाया मिट्टी तो दिखना नहीं चाहिए mouth. There should not be any dirt in the mouth. So therefore these Shaktis became active. Jiva Goswami writes that actually Krishna does not care for all these Shaktis. But these Shaktis are ready to serve Krishna. They are waiting for an opportunity. So now, Krishna opens his mouth. And when Krishna opened his mouth wide, Mother Yashoda, she saw entire cosmic manifestation. So Krishna had to cover his dirt. So he showed the entire manifestation. Actually, he did not do. His Shaktis, they manifested this entire manifestation. Yashoda, she saw everything in the universe. all the living entities, all the planetary systems, all the elements of creation, everything she saw. The three modes of material nature. She saw himself, she saw herself, she saw Vrindavan, and she was completely bewildered. She became doubtful, fearful, and she started thinking, is it dream? No, it cannot be dream. I am still, awake. I am not sleepy also. Is it Maya? Is it Deva Maya? Why Devatas will, enter into the life of such an insignificant person like me? Is it some mental derangement? No, my mind is stable. Is it mystic power of my child? Gargacharya said that your child has powers like Narayan. All these things she is thinking. Then she tells, let me surrender to the Supreme Lord. That Supreme Lord is beyond the words, beyond the mind, beyond the mental speculation. And then she actually comes to an understanding that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Falsely, I am thinking that I am the Queen of Brindavan. Aham mamaso patiresha me sutao brajeshwarasya khilgop vittapasati gopyascha gopya sagodhanascha me yanmayayitham kumati samegati. I am thinking, I am wrongly thinking that I am the Queen of Brindavan. Nanda Maharaj is my husband, Krishna is my son. All these cowherd men and all these cows, they belong to me. I am Kumati. I am illusioned. I take shelter of that Supreme Lord. She's thinking like this. And then Mother Yashoda, actually she could understand the truth. But again, by the Yogamaya potency of Supreme Lord, she became inspired and forgot all that vision, became absorbed in motherly affection. Sadyo nashta smritir gopi saropyaro hamatmajam pravriddha sneha kalila hridaya sir yathapura. She forgot the universal form and again took Krishna on her lap with increasing affection. And therefore Shukadeva Goswami says that Supreme Lord who is described by three Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, scriptures, they are glorifying the Supreme Lord. But Mother Yashoda, she considered that Supreme Lord like as her child. So this shows the supreme nature of love of Yashoda. Even after seeing the display of majesty, she is not bewildered. She is not overcome, just like Devaki. Parikshit Maharaj, when he hears this, he inquires about the glorious position of Nanda and Yashoda. Arya, who are these people? Nanda kimakarod brahman shreya eva mahodayam Yashoda cha mahabhaga papo yasya stanam hare. Nanda, what pious activities this Nanda Maharaj has done? What are the activities this Yashoda has performed? That Krishna is drinking the milk from her breast. Vasudeva and Devaki, they could not enjoy the pastimes, all these wonderful pastimes of Krishna. Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are witnessing, they are enjoying all these pastimes. Their position must be better. Who are they? Actually, Nanda and Yashoda, they are eternal parents of Krishna, but Shukadeva Goswami, he describes the, sadhaka forms of Nanda and Yashoda. And he says there were two people, Dhara and Drona. Actually, Dhara and Drona, they are expansions of the eternal Nanda and Yashoda. So Brahmaji, he ordered Dhara and Drona that you go and you take birth as Nanda and Yashoda. And you take care, you will get to see the pastimes of Krishna. Please, help Krishna, Supreme Lord, to enact all those pastimes. So Dhara and Drona, they begged permission and they were born on this planet Earth. Brahma, he gave permission, he gave blessings. And therefore, Shukadeva Goswami says that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they have a continuous parental affection for Krishna, just like gopis, just like all the other gopis who are born in Vrindavan. Nanda and Yashoda, who are Dhara and Drona, they have intense parental affection for Krishna. So Shukadeva Goswami ends this chapter by describing that Lord, he lived in Vrindavan just to substantiate the parental affection and increase the affection of Brajvasis, and he came to fulfill the benedictions of Brahma. That is the end of the 8th chapter. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, any questions anybody has? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.